If you're looking for an affordable but great sounding mic, this video is for you. So whether you're a content creator, a gamer, a podcaster, or you just want really good audio for your video calls, this mic will not disappoint. This is now the mic that I'm recommending for people to buy when they're asking for a budget option. And as this video is gonna show, it actually can go toe to toe with some more expensive mics that are out there. I mostly work with content creators, like course creators, coaches, consultants, even video podcasters, people who create a lot of video for promoting their brand. Good sounding audio is crucial for making good video content, and people often ask me what mic they should buy. Now, I have recommendations in various budget ranges, but I struggle with recommendations in the lower budget categories because most of my microphones are in the higher budget range, and I don't like recommending things that I haven't tried. So when Fifine reached out, Fifine? Fine? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. So when they reached out and asked me to do an honest review of their K688, which is this microphone, I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to try out something new and see how it stands up against other mics. I've been using this mic for about a week now for Zoom meetings and video calls and creating training for my team. And I was really surprised by the raw audio quality of this mic. Specifically, I thought it has really good low end and bass response. And the higher frequencies aren't accentuated and annoying like sometimes you'll have in the lower budget mics out there. A lot of times these lower end mics are really noisy when you turn up the volume on them. And this one didn't really seem any different than other mics that I use. It has good noise rejection quality, so things that are off axis are not picked up into the mic, just like I would expect with a decent dynamic mic. I also have my RAID array on just as a test, and it has a fan that's always running. So there's plenty of background noise for this thing to pick up. And it does great rejecting that. Now, as far as the build quality goes, I think it's actually pretty decent build quality. It feels really lightweight, but not like in a cheap kind of way that it feels like it'll fall apart. It feels really sturdy. I also love that it comes with a good quality shock mount. I also found it really easy to use. It comes with a USB cord. You just plug that in, plug it in your computer, and then select it as your microphone. Now, if you have an audio interface, it also has an XLR output that you could plug in and then go into your interface. Now, I did some test recording using the USB versus the XLR output. They both sound really good, but the XLR input is just a little bit better. So if you have an interface, definitely run XLR. But really, you don't need one if you don't already have one. The USB quality is just fine. As far as the price is concerned, you really can't beat this mic. I don't know what the normal price is. Amazon shows the list price at $75.99. And right now there's a special going on for $51.09. If you need a stand or a boom arm, it's going to be a little bit extra, but still this is a really great deal for how great this mic sounds. So next I want to do a comparison between the USB and the XLR outputs just so you can hear the difference. And I'm also going to compare this to some of my favorite high-end mics. Now, this is not super scientific. I'm not claiming that it's perfect, but I wanted to do some kind of comparison so you can get an idea of how good this mic sounds out of the box. So now I'm going to do some sample recordings using the USB output and then the XLR output. I'll read the same or almost the same sentence, and I'll try to do it as consistently as possible so there's a good comparison. So starting with the USB, as I've already got that one plugged in, I'm going to read the sentence now. Oh, I should probably hit record. That would be a good idea. Check 1, 2. We got signal. All right. This is the Fifine K688 dynamic microphone recorded via the USB cable into my computer. This is the Fifine K688 dynamic microphone recorded via the USB cable into my computer. So now I have the XLR output plugged into my interface through a preamp, inline preamp booster just to give a little bit more clean gain. I run all my dynamic mics through that. I'll do my best to try to get the volume to be about the same between them. Because usually anything that sounds louder is going to sound better. It's just kind of the way our ears work. So I'll try to get them matched to sounding as close as possible to the same volume. So now I'm going to read a sentence for the XLR input. This is the Fifine K688 dynamic microphone recorded via the XLR output into my interface. This is the Fifine K688 dynamic microphone recorded via the XLR output into my interface. For comparison's sake, I want to use some of my other mics just to see what it sounds like. And we'll start with the RE20 here. So I'm going to read the same sentence or similar sentence, and I'll try to be as consistent as possible. This is the Electro-Voice RE20 dynamic microphone recorded via the XLR output into my interface. This is the Fifine K688 dynamic microphone recorded via the XLR output into my interface. All right, so next let's try the SM7B, and I'll read the script. This is the Shure SM7B dynamic microphone recorded via the XLR output into my interface. This is the Fifine K688 dynamic microphone recorded via the XLR output into my interface. All right, so for the final comparison, I thought I should do the 2QU USB, so at least we can compare the two budget mics and how they sound via USB. Because typically, if you're going to buy a budget mic, you're probably going to use the USB. This is the Samson 2QU dynamic microphone recorded via the USB cable into my computer. This is the Fifine K688 dynamic microphone recorded via the USB cable into my computer. So as you can see, this thing sounds really good. And honestly, if you would blindfold me and give me the raw recordings, I'm not sure I could pick out which one came from this. So I want to give some final thoughts on this mic. One, make sure that you plug in the USB cord until it clicks. When I first got it, I just plugged it in and then tried to use it and it wasn't working. And then I realized I didn't push it in all the way. So there's a little bit of a click at the end, and that's how you know that it's in all the way. So my other tip is to always make sure you check the mute button. It's got this mute button on top that's green when it's on and red when it's muted. And it's really easy to accidentally bump that. So if you grab the mic to move it around, you're trying to adjust it, it's really sensitive. All you do is touch it and it turns the mute on. So it's just a good practice right before you hit record or anytime you touch it, just do a double check and make sure that it's green. So a few things to note for these recordings. Anytime I'm using an XLR, it's going from the mic into a Triton Audio FET head. It's a little preamp that adds 27 dBs of clean gain. So a lot of times dynamic mics, even the high-end ones, are a little quiet compared to condenser mics. So this is a great way to add a lot of clean gain to the audio input, so you're not having to crank your interface input and potentially add a lot of noise. I didn't go crazy with the processing to try to get everything just perfectly at the same volume, but it still should give a decent idea of the comparison between these mics. Something I noticed a little too late into my original recording was that I didn't get the cord routed up over my boom arm. Because I was going to be swapping the mic in and out, I didn't take the time to do that. I just wanted to point out that the cord that it comes with is long enough to route over the boom pole and tuck everything in so it's nice and tidy. While audio is a major component to making high quality video, it's not the only component. I've put together a free training that covers everything you need to know to make really good quality videos in your home or office studio, as well as a gear guide to help you pick the right equipment and show you how it all goes together. Head over to glacierrockmedia.com/studio and grab your free training today. All right, friend, I hope you found that helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.